Friends, good evening to all of you. In previous few sessions, we are discussing about various types of companies. Uh, so many types of companies are there. We have broadly covered all of them. Today, few more types of companies we'll be talking about. Let me show you the screen right now. Even if we talk about various types of the company, but if you look at the Companies Act 2013, you can find out these are the 14 types of company which are in fact defined in Companies Act 2013. But in our day-to-day life, we talk about many more types of companies, and we can classify them on the basis of incorporation style, on the basis of their nature, on the basis of how liabilities are classified, on the basis of controls they have, and on that basis, we know there is something called as charter company, statutory company, registered company, banking company, insurance company, electricity company, foreign company, Indian company, non-profit making company or Section 8 companies, unlimited companies, limited companies, companies limited by guarantee, companies limited by shares, private company. This we are discussing at last session. What is a private company and what is a public company? So up to this, we had discussed in our previous class, and we had also distinguished between private company and public company. These are the list of distinctions that we had talked about. Okay, yeah, and private companies enjoy some privileges. These privileges are listed here. Today, we'll start with this concept. What is government company? Okay, so government company, as you can see the definition, it is defined in the Companies Act Section 2, Clause 45. Right, if you go through it, it means a company in which not less than 50% of the paid up capital is held by either central government or by state government or governments, or partly by central government or partly by one or more state governments. Okay, and this also broadly we had discussed in the previous class. Still, let me repeat it. So not less than 50% means 50% or more. Okay, exactly 50% means that's also a government company. Not less than 50% of the paid up capital is held by central government. Let us say it is held by central government, that's also okay. Any one state government or multiple state governments, they may also jointly hold 50% or more. Or partly by central government, partly by state government, that's also possible. Okay, so if this is so, if this is the shareholding pattern, that company will be referred to as a government company. Is it okay? Did you understand? Example, you can see, let us say National Aluminium Company Limited, Steel Authority of India Limited. Many companies you can find like this, where more than 50% of the share capital is held, maybe by central government, sometimes maybe by one state government, sometimes it is maybe by multiple state governments. Odisha state government, Andhra state government jointly, that's also possible. Or partly by central government or partly by one or more state government or governments, that's also possible. Okay, so this is the primary thing, or you can find primary part of the definition. We say this is government company. But one more thing you have to say, it also includes a company which is a subsidiary company of a government company. Meaning, if a government company is having a subsidiary, that will always remain a government company. Understood? Of course, so what is subsidiary company? I had not explained you. We'll be learning that thing today. But at this stage, just to understand, subsidiary company means a company which is controlled by some other company. Okay. The company which is controlled, that is called as the subsidiary company. You can think it something like a child company. And the company which is controlling, you can call that as a parent company or the holding company.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, please ask me your doubt.
Sir, how is one company controlled by another company?
Yeah, that's exactly.
What
just give me just maybe another 5 minutes. We'll be learning subsidiary company. I'll be explaining you at that point of time how control is possible. Okay, I don't want to discuss right now because we have to technically explain that thing. Exactly what are the possibilities of control. We'll be learning that. That has been where it has been defined when we will be learning this subsidiary company. Just maybe after 2 slides that will be coming, I'll be discussing that. Okay. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Control is possible. Control is possible. Now you can think of how a company can control. Just keep on thinking and I'll be telling you exactly. There are many ways of control, but law has defined only 2 ways. If this is so, then only it will be called as, it will be understood as control, and accordingly, one company can be called as subsidiary company. Okay, 2 possibilities. We are going to discuss that thing shortly. Okay. Any other query, friends? Anyone having any other query? No? Let us proceed. Yeah, government company, you have also understood. Now, let us now understand what is holding company. Next is subsidiary company. First, let us understand holding subsidiary company. Now, friends, you see, holding company and subsidiary company means in relation to holding company, one company can be called as a subsidiary company. Or in relation to subsidiary company, one company can be called as holding companies. So they are relative terms. Okay, just like that, we cannot say whether this is a holding company or not. Holding company means with reference to which company you are talking about. Are you getting me? So with reference to a particular subsidiary company, one company can be called as a holding company. Or with reference to a particular holding company, another company can be called as a subsidiary company. Okay. For example, let us say this thing. Mahanadi Coalfield Limited is the subsidiary of Coal India Limited. Okay.
State Bank of India and its subsidiary.
Yes. There are many companies, so many companies are there in State Bank of India. Let us say SBI Capital Markets Limited is a subsidiary of State Bank of India Limited. And State Bank of India Limited is a subsidiary of SBI Capital Market Limited. Okay. State Bank of India is the holding company of SBI Capital Market Limited. Okay. Or SBI Nepal Limited is the subsidiary of, you can say, State Bank of India Limited. Okay. SBI Credit Card Limited is also a subsidiary. So like this, so many subsidiary companies State Bank of India is having. Understood? But they are related terms. With reference to one company, we have to interpret whether other company is holding a subsidiary. Now let us see the definition. If you look at the definition of holding company, you see holding company, it says, definition itself says, in relation to one or more other company, means a company of which such companies are subsidiary. That means if at all there is a subsidiary company, with reference to that, this company can be called as a holding company. In relation to that, this company can be called as a holding company. That means unless we know what is a subsidiary company, we cannot decide whether it's a holding company or not. We need to understand the meaning of subsidiary company right now. Okay. If we say this company is a holding company, we are saying it in relation to some other company, which is a subsidiary company. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let us learn what is subsidiary company. Now our friend was asking how control is possible. How control is possible? Exactly, it is defined in this definition, which is called as subsidiary company. You see. Okay. Now you see, just I'm showing you before reading anything. You see there are 2 points are there. Point 1, point 2. Okay. And you see both the points are talking about controls. Here also controls we are finding. This is also exercise or controls. Is that fine? Let us see how a company can be controlled. These are explained here. Okay. Now let us read it minutely. It has been defined in section 2, clause 87. Subsidiary company. Subsidiary company or subsidiary in relation to another company. That means it is again with reference to some other company. That is to say the holding company. With reference to which company, that company can be called as a holding company. Means a company in which the holding company, okay, means a company in which the holding company, point number 1, controls the composition of board of directors. So first point is that you can control by controlling the composition of the board of directors. If board of directors are with you, if you are able to control the board of directors, then board decisions are in your hand. Is it done? Whenever a proposal is discussed in the board meeting, the control is in your hand because you are controlling board of directors.
Yes, sir.
Now you can think, how can you control board of directors? There might be provisions or there might be contract, there might be some terms according to which that this company cannot appoint any new director unless some approval is obtained for somebody. Okay. Or at least, let us say there is a provision that at least these many directors, at least 50% of the directors will be nominated by this organization, another company. This is how they will control it. Okay. Let us say State Bank of India is sanctioning a term loan to some other company. Okay. But when sanctioning the term loan, it has kept a condition. What is the condition? That 50% of the directors will be appointed by me, by State Bank of India. That is, 50% of the directors are appointed means they are controlling the board. Is it not?
Yes.
Okay. So if board control is there, then definitely you are controlling the company. This is one way of controlling the company. But other way, let us read it, then we'll discuss. Second way, or second option, you see, exercises or controls more than one half of the total share capital. More than one half. That means more than 50% of the share capital is held. If that is owned, if it is held by another company. Okay. The exact wordings are like this: exercises or controls more than one half of the total share capital, either at its own or together with one or more of its subsidiary company. That means either one company is holding by itself, or how it is holding with some other subsidiary it is holding. How much? More than one half of its share capital. That is more than 50% of the share capital is held. If that is so, then that will be referred to, that will also be understood as controlling company, and consequently the controlled company will be called as holding company. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So I told you two ways of controlling. First is, what is that? Control of board of directors. If you are controlling board, there are many ways of controlling board. Okay, examples I gave you. Right. Let us say the board consists of 8 directors, but 5 directors are SBI nominees. Then okay, SBI is controlling. The SBI is the holding company. Or 5 directors are nominees from some other company. Then they are controlling. Is it not? Out of 8, 5. Then whatever decision will be taken, these 5 directors are majority. They can take all the decisions. Or control is also possible by holding share capital. But share capital means, let us say total share capital is, let us say there are 10 lakh shares. More than 50%. Okay. So exact wording you see, once again, I would like you to read that. What are the wordings? More than one half, not 50%. What you see here is that more than one half. That means we have to understand it as 50% or more. If that much of share capital, let us say out of 10 lakh, 5 lakh and 1 shares are held by another company. Okay, let us say company A Limited. A Limited can alone head, or A Limited subsidiary also. A Limited and A Limited subsidiary taken together. Let us say here is A Limited, and A Limited is also having a subsidiary at small A Limited. And both of them taken together are holding 5 lakh and 1 shares of B Limited. That means this is the holding company, this is the subsidiary. More than one half of the share capital is held by the holding company alone, or by holding company along with its some other subsidiary. Did you understand this?
Yes.
Okay. Now, once again, you can read this provision. More than one half of the total share capital, either at its own or together with one or more of its subsidiary companies. So understood what is holding company, what is subsidiary company. Okay, right? Okay. Now, friends, one more thing you see. Now there is a possibility that there is a holding company. There is a possibility there is a holding company. Holding company is having a subsidiary company. Subsidiary company may be having another subsidiary company. That possibility is there or not?
Yes, sir. Possibility
That
there.
possibility is also there. So law has provided one more thing, that such class or classes of holding companies as may be prescribed. That means it may be prescribed. Will not have layers of subsidiary beyond such number as may be prescribed. So there is a possibility that law may provide that you can have it, holding company, subsidiary company, but it can go up to a particular layer if it is prescribed. Okay, that power is there with the law. It may be prescribed for a particular class of companies or classes of holding companies, that there can be multiple layers of subsidiaries, but up to a particular number. Okay, so this provision is there in the Act. You can read this particular thing. Understood?
Sir.
Okay, now two more points also. Again, minutely try to understand this. So this is our impact. There are few explanations to this particular section. Okay, particular clause. What is this explanation? Now you see, a company shall be deemed to be a subsidiary company of a holding company, even if the control referred to in subsection in subclause I or subclause II, that is subclause 1 and subclause 2, is of another subsidiary of the holding company. Are you able to understand this clause? Let me repeat it once again. The company shall be deemed to be a subsidiary company of the holding company, even if the controls referred to either in subclause 1 or subclause 2 is of another subsidiary company. This means, let me tell you what is the meaning of this. One thing I told you, there can be multiple layers of holding subsidiary relationship, but government law may prescribe up to a limit. That is one. Second thing is that now we have seen, let us say here is a company, I call it as S. And who is its holding company? I will call it as H. H is the holding. Okay. But you know, it can become holding company. There are two options. What are the options? It may control board of directors, or it may control shareholding. Through shareholding also, it is possible to exercise control. And through board also, controlling the composition of board also, it's also possible to control the company, to become holding company. Now, if let us say there is one company who is controlling the board. Okay, board control is with this company. But there is another company. Okay, let us say it's double H, who is controlling through shareholding. That means this particular company is having two holding companies. Yes or no?
Yes,
Sir,
Yes,
sir, that mean, what is my understanding? One company can have can go for either share. No, both the options are there. Either control on directors or share would be there.
Yeah, or both,
would be there.
both is possible. Each
Right.
company can have board control or shareholding control. Or might be each company is having board control only, but each company is having shareholding control. That
Right.
means this particular company can have two parents. This particular child can have two parents. Okay, this is a child company, this is a parent company. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. That particular thing, now you can understand that clause. That particular thing has been explained here. Now read it once again. Let us read it once again. You see, company shall be deemed to be a subsidiary company of the holding company, even if the control referred in I or II. That means even if it is already controlled by board of directors, controlled through board of directors, or it is controlled through shareholding, still it will be subsidiary of another company. That is what we learned here. Even if it is controlled by H, still it will become subsidiary of HH.
Hello.
Okay?
Sir,
Hello. Hello. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, kindly mute yourself. Please, friends.
Hello.
Yeah, friends, kindly. Mr. Pavitra, please mute yourself. Pavitra ji,
Hello,
please.
sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
May I know-
What are you saying, sir?
Sorry. Now, there was some background noise. Yeah, now please, you may unmute and talk. But please ensure that there is no background noise. Yeah, please speak now.
sir,
Yeah. Please ask your query.
sir, there, sir, for one subsidiary, there are multiple holding companies, sir.
Multiple, it is difficult to say multiple. Yeah, it may multiple means it can be more than one. Two example. In this example, I had shown you.
Yes, sir.
It's
And sir, for
multiple means it is possible
multiple
to.
subsidiary,
But you can
there-
say a
there
third
must be-
company, once one company is, let us
Yes,
say,
sir.
controlling more than 50% shareholding, there cannot be any third company who can control this thing.
Yes.
Okay. And once the one company is controlling board of directors,
Okay,
there
okay,
cannot be another company
Yes, sir.
who is again controlling board of directors. But two possibilities are there.
Yes.
One company can have two holding
Yes, sir.
companies.
Okay, sir.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Unable to hear you. Yeah. Some queries there. Unable to hear you. I think poor network from your side. So you can do one thing. You can quickly send a chat message. You can write in the chat box. So I will try to address it at appropriate time.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, it's okay. Now, please ask your query.
Sir, if either of the condition is fulfilled, that is control of board of director or 50% shareholding,
Yes.
can it be called as a subsidiary company?
Yes. Either
For
one.
example,
Yes. Yes. Any one of the conditions needs to be fulfilled. I'm unable to hear you, but once again, I'm showing you the provisions.
can you hear me, sir, again?
Sorry, please
Sir?
repeat your question.
Can I repeat the question again? Sir, my question is, suppose SBI granted loan to a company may contract 50%, more than 50% directors to be from SBI side. Can it be subsidiary?
Okay, friends, I think voice is not clear because of a poor network, but doesn't matter. I think I have understood the question. Let me answer you this thing. The issue which is raised right now, that is it possible that one company, one subsidiary company can have more than one holding company? Answer is yes. And you can also get this answer. How you can get it? You see, provisions are before you. This is exactly what is there in the law. Directly, this has been copied from the law. What you can see it, you see, controls the composition of the board of directors. Okay, this is one point you have understood. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then you see what is the word here. This is a beautiful word. Can you read it? What is this?
Or.
That means either this or this. It's not and. That means anyone is suffice. If it controls the board of director, that's a holding company. Or if it controls one half of the share capital, either that company itself or together with its subsidiary, then also that is holding company. Any one conditions has to be complied with.
Or it can be both.
Or it can be both. Both means this is compliant, this is also compliant. Both means. Okay, but since the word or is there is a possibility that one company is complying subclause 1, one company is complying subclause 2. So therefore, there is possibility of 2 holding companies for one subsidiary. Yeah, now raise your query.
No, suppose sir, one company has both the criteria as 1 and 2.
Then okay, that's
Still,
holding.
okay, still how could another company would be the holding company of that subsidiary?
Then it is not possible. If one company is controlling both the thing, one company is controlling board, one company is controlling the same company is controlling the share capital. How it is possible? No other company can.
Suppose one company having board of director clause and another company having the share clause. If both, then both the company would be the holding company.
Yeah, both of them will be holding company.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Okay. And this thing I explained you that even if one company is already holding company of, so if one company is already subsidiary of some other company, still it will be deemed to be a subsidiary of another company. That is why this explanation is there in this particular provision.
Sir, can a subsidiary company would be a holding company for another company?
Yes. Subsidiary company can become a holding. That is why this clause is there. There is a possibility of multiple layers of holding subsidiary relations.
Okay.
The company has taken a loan from bank and the company is making heavy losses. So the company is unable to pay back the loan. The bank took over the control of the company and appointed the director more than 3% of the directors. So can that company be counted as a subsidiary company of that time?
Sorry, I couldn't hear it properly. The question, I'm unable to hear it, and you are asking, I think, little technical question. Yeah. Please ask your question.
The company took loan from bank.
Okay, company has taken loan from bank. No, it's not clear. It's not clear. Sorry, your voice is not clear. You may ask this particular question through your chat box. I will be addressing that. Okay, I'm unable to listen to the question properly. Or if anyone, no, this is the problem is from your side only, so nobody will be listening to this. Okay, so you please communicate through chat box. I will be addressing that. Now let me cover one more concept. Okay, but keep that question in mind. Once your network is okay, then you may ask me that question at any point of time. No issue. Now, friends, next point. Now, explanation is also there. How you know that board of directors, the composition of the board of directors is controlled. Then the explanation B says the composition of the company's board of directors shall be deemed to be controlled by another company if that other company, by exercise of some power exercisable by it at its discretion, can appoint and remove all or majority of the directors. If the other company can appoint or remove all the directors or majority of the directors, you can say that company is controlling board. Okay, if that company can appoint more than 50% of board of directors, then that is controlling. Or remove more than 50% of the directors, then you can say it is controlling. Understood? So this points we need.
Sir, suppose a subsidiary. Hello.
Yeah, please now ask your query.
Hello, sir. Suppose a subsidiary company is a holding company for another company.
Yes.
So in this case, the holding company may be a power can exercise the power to the subsidiary.
Yes.
Suppose a company is a subsidiary of a subsidiary company and also a holding company of other company.
Company is a subsidiary.
So the
also holding
main
company of another company.
Parent company
so
can
exercise in relation to
okay. So main
one company is subsidiary in relation to some other company that is holding company.
Is a holding company. Yes. So in this case the main holding company can exercise some powers to the lowest subsidiary company.
No. In relation to this company, indirectly he may be able to control, but directly it will not be possible. Okay. Indirectly it may be possible, but directly it is not possible. That company's holding company will be controlled. So if I have understood the question properly, so let us say The question is something like this. Here is one holding company. The holding company is having a subsidiary. The subsidiary is having another subsidiary. Point is that this holding company can control this. This subsidiary can control this because in relation to this SS, S is the holding company. And in relation to H, this is the holding company. Okay, now question is whether this company can control this company. Not directly, but indirectly possible. Okay, now if you read the provision, okay, which now our friends have raised one more query. You see, what is, we have used this word, where is that I'm looking for? Just a minute. Yeah, so our friend is asking what is the meaning of this term deemed to? Deemed to means for legal purposes, it will be considered as, okay, it will be considered as subsidiary company. Okay, in law, many times we'll be using this word deemed. Deemed to means it will be legally considered as a subsidiary company or anything. Deemed to means it will be considered as. Is it clear? Now, next query. Any other query you have? Let's move to the next type of company.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, you see, this is also defined. Section 2, clause 6 talks about associate company. This is also in relation to some other company. We have to understand. Associate company in relation to some other company means a company in which that other company has significant influence. Before that, we are learning about subsidiary company. Here, the words, key words or the key parameter was the control. Whether this company is controlled by other company or not. If it is controlled, then it is subsidiary. How it can be controlled? Controlled through board or controlled through shareholding. Okay, the word or the key parameter here was control. But here you see word control is not there. What is the important word? What's the wording is significant influence. Meaning you are not controlling, but you are significantly influencing the decision of another company. And you are not a holding company. If that is so, you are not a holding company, but still you are significantly influencing. Then that company will report, both the companies will report to associate of each other. So let me repeat this definition. In relation to another company means a company in which the other company has a significant influence, but which is not a subsidiary company of the company having such influence and includes a joint venture company. Okay, so if this company, suppose company A is significantly influencing company B, then they are associates of each other. Okay, even if it is not subsidiary. Subsidiary is possible only when it is controlled. If it is controlled, then it is subsidiary. But control is not there, but significant influence is there. Then it is associate. Now you may think how you will know that whether significant influence is there or not. Okay, so law has also explained that. It says significant influence means control of at least 20%. If one company is controlling at least 20%, that means it is exercising significant influence. Okay, understood?
Yes.
Sir, is it like the Star Union Daiichi?
Sorry, I couldn't. I'm not getting the question properly. There might be many examples. So we have to actually check that whether we have to check the shareholding pattern. If this company is having 20%, at least 20% or more shareholding, then you can say they are exercising significant influence. We need to check all that we have to do. We need to check the shareholding pattern. What is the shareholding? Okay.
No, sir, like the Bank of India and Union Bank of India and the Star Daiichi and joint venture of Star Daiichi company.
You see,
Where the whole India.
I told you we need to check the shareholding pattern. Then only we can say. Okay, and shareholding pattern, we have to check it. Then only we can say.
Okay.
Okay, without that information, I'm not in a position to say whether that is a associate company or not. Right? I think you have understood this. Now,
Okay.
next type of company is one-person company, popularly called as OPC. Means a company which has only one person as member. This also, when we will be learning this company's incorporation, we'll be learning little more on that. But right now, keep it in the mind, it is also possible to form a company with one person. One person will be the member, right? And that company will be called as OPC, one person company. Okay, let's move further. One person company is also defined. Okay, one more important category of company is small company. Small company definition is also there in section 2 clause 85. Okay, so there are, you see, two ways we can see, we can conclude whether the company is small or not. First one, you see point 1 or subclause 1 talks about paid up share capital. There is a limit, there is a cap of paid up share capital. Second subclause is about turnover. So turnover is criteria or paid up share capital is one more criteria. And in between, you see this beautiful word is there. Can you read it? What is this?
Or.
Or. That means either this condition or this condition. If anyone is compliant, then that is a small company. If both are compliant, then also fine. But if anyone is compliant, that's a small. Okay. Now let us read it. Small company means a company other than a public company. That means if it's a public company, it can never be a small company. Because the definition, first of all, excludes public company. Or it's not, it should not be a public company. Okay. That means it should be a private company. Then what is the first condition? Paid up capital of which does not exceed how much? Can you read it? How much?
50 lakhs.
50 lakhs. So first of all, we have to see which capital? Paid up capital. Okay, not issued capital, not authorized capital. We have to see paid up capital. How much capital is paid off? Authorized capital might be 1 crore. Okay, but issued capital might be, let us say, 75 lakh. But paid up capital is 50 lakh. 50 lakh is not exceeding 50 lakh. So if the paid up capital is not exceeding, then it is a small company, not exceeding 50 lakh. Okay, now it is 50 lakh. But law has also made provision or such higher amount as may be prescribed which shall not be more than 10 crore rupees. So that means this power is given. Government may prescribe higher amount, but as of now it is 50 lakh rupees. But government may extend it to any amount, but not exceeding 10 crore. This limit cannot go beyond 10 crore, but government may increase from time to time. Understood? What is a small company? First condition. Paid up capital should not exceed 50 lakh. That is condition 1. Second condition, you see, the turnover. Turnover means the sales figure. Turnover of which, as per its last profit and loss account, does not exceed how much? Please read it.
Sir, 2 crores.
2.
2
Okay,
crores.
let us say paid up capital is not exceeding, but turnover has exceeded 2 crore. Then second condition is met. Then that will not be treated as small company if its turnover has exceeded. Okay, but turnover has not exceeded, then that is a small company. And here also government has power to extend it, to enhance this limit of 2 crore. Therefore, these wordings are there. Or such higher amount as may be prescribed, which shall not be more than 100 crore rupees. Okay, so the government may increase it up to 100 crore, but right now it is 2 crore rupees. So you have to remember two things. One thing, paid up capital should not exceed 50 lakh rupees. And second thing is turnover should not exceed how much?
2 crore.
2 crore.
2 crore. 2 crore. Fantastic. Okay, so these two conditions you have to understand. Keep it in mind to understand the concept of small company. Okay. Okay. Right? Any query you have? on this? And again, you have to remember a few things. This particular provision, that the concept of small company, doesn't apply to holding company, small or subsidiary company. Okay, it doesn't apply to Section 8 companies, charitable companies. You know that thing. They cannot be a small company, or it doesn't apply to company or body corporate governed by special act. If by passing special act, by it may be central act or state act, if some company is formed, that also cannot be a small company. Otherwise, that public company, as you know, that also cannot be a small company. So all other companies can become small company, provided their paid up share capital doesn't exceed 50 lakh rupees and the turnover doesn't exceed 2 crore rupees as of today. Right? Next category of company that we are
Sir, a small company can also be a holding.
Sorry.
So we are holding or subsidiary company.
Possible. That's possible.
Okay.
Now, listed company. You might be knowing this term. Means a company which has any of its securities. It may be equity shares, it may be stock, it may be debentures. If any of these securities are listed in any recognized stock exchange, then that company will be called as a listed company. Means securities are listed in a recognized stock exchange. Company is not listed. What is listed? The securities. That means this company securities can be traded in a recognized stock exchange. If that is so, that will be called as a listed company. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now you see, many times we use this word defunct company. Defunct company has not been defined anywhere, but normal mailing will understand. Defunct company means the company which is not functioning. It might have been incorporated, but which has never commenced its business, which is not carrying on its business, has either no asset or has such asset as that shall not be sufficient to meet the cost of liquidation. Meaning it is a company which is not functional. That company is called as defunct. Okay.
Means a company is registered under Company Act but not started its business.
Business, yes. That is called defunct company. Then sometimes we talk about closely held company. This is many times this closely held and widely held companies are with reference to income tax law. Here we'll understand the meaning like this. Closely held company means which has only limited number of shareholders, and their shares are hardly hardly exchanged. Within a very close circle, the shares are held. That is called as closely held company. Okay, you can think it's something similar to a private company. While widely held company means where shares are traded publicly.
Here it is mentioned as limited number of shareholders. Can we quantify this limited?
Limited means no, we cannot quantify. Okay, you see, first of all, there is no definition as such. That's what I tell you. Limited means very few. You have to understand it in the general sense. Okay.
Okay.
There is no definition here. Okay, wherever it has been defined, as I told you, those 14 category of companies has been defined. And where it has been defined, you see, if you see the heading, section references are given, it is defined. Law has said like this. But where it is not defined, you have to understand it in a very general sense. It is not defined. So how can you say what is the limited number of shareholders?
Okay.
Now, widely held company means shares are held widely. Shareholders are number of shareholding is not limited. That means many people might be holding this company offer initial public offering IPO. So you can say you can treat a listed company as a widely held company and a private company as a closely held company. Okay. Then you might have heard this kind of terms like blue chip company. That means companies we generally sell high quality products. This is one way of understanding this. Another way of understanding is that they have a good size of market capitalization. Their shares are frequently traded, and most of the times their value of the shares keeps on appreciating. People love to buy those shares. There is a huge demand of those shares frequently. The market capitalization is, those companies are referred to as blue chip companies. Okay. You might have heard the term multinational companies, MNC, popularly it is understood. These are the companies who do business in multiple countries. Generally, their headquarters are located in one country and business operations are conducted in various countries. They are called as multinational companies, international companies, transnational companies, like this. Different names are there. Okay, so that is one. And
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please ask.
Sir, this type of company is also not listed in the law.
They are not defined in the law. What is the meaning of multinational company? They have not been defined in the law. Okay, so we understand it by using our general meaning of these terms. Okay, so there are various categories. There are also some classification of these multinational companies. As I told you, international company, transnational company, multi-domestic company, like global company, like this, so many companies are there. So loosely, all of them we can refer to. All of them can be referred to as MNCs or multinational companies, but it has not been defined.
Yes.
Okay, it has not been defined.
Yes.
Now, then perhaps this is the last category of company that we will be discussing. Is about dormant company. No, one more company is that. Dormant company is that which has been registered under Companies Act or earlier acts, but is not carrying on any kind of business activities or receiving any form of income. Okay, this is again not doing anything. Okay, company has operated, but it is dormant. Business is stopped. No income is coming to the company's account. That is called as a dormant company. This is also not defined. We have to understand it by using our general meaning. Okay.
Yes. Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, then
of the dormant company.
Okay. Sorry, please ask your question.
Suppose what will happen to the shareholders for a dormant company?
Shareholders are the shareholders. They will continue to be as the shareholders. But since there is no business, no income, they will not be getting any. They will not be getting any dividend.
Like
Okay. Any other query?
But now that will be zero.
Sorry, I couldn't get your question.
So, like, sir, 5 years ago, I have entered in in some shares.
Questions are not clear. So your signal seems to be very poor. I'm unable to get it. But keep that question in your mind. So whenever it will be possible for you, raise that question. I'll be addressing it. Okay, or leave it in the chat box. I'll be addressing in appropriate time. Now, friends, this is our last category of company we discussed. That is strike up companies or struck up company. So this is again one more provision in the company's law that if the company is not filing returns, then the ROC may strike it out, strike the name out from the register of companies. So this is in fact a process of removing the name of the company from the register. So many times government closes companies. So if you search ROC in that company's name, you can find out it will be struck off or striked out. That means company's name has been removed. But there are ways company you can say one can revive that company also. That means temporarily the companies are suspended by government. Those companies are referred to as strike of companies. Okay, so these are, you see, various kinds of companies, almost 28 or 29 companies we discussed. But the fact remains that, technically speaking, if you you would like to understand, or someone else asking you how many kinds of companies are there with reference to Companies Act, so we can find only this 14 category of companies. All other companies are there, but we are discussing in a very general sense. Okay. Right, friends?
Yes, sir.
Now, is there any other query?
Sir, what is the paid up share capital?
What is paid up share capital? Okay, your question is, what is the paid up share capital? Okay, if you look at any company's balance sheet, you can find it out. You can look at any company's balance sheet. In appropriate time, also I will be showing you. You can see the capital structure of the company. You see at the balance sheet, you can find out this head, equity and liabilities. There you can find share capital. So to understand this thing, you have to refer to a particular note, refer to any company's balance sheet. You can also download. You can go to any company's website and download. Let us say if you want to see, you can download Infosys balance sheet, you can download Nalco's balance sheet, you can download sales balance sheet, you can watch it, what is that capital structure. You can find out there is something called as the authorized capital. That means the company is authorized to issue that much of capital, but company might not have issued that much of capital. Okay. Then within that authorized capital, let's say authorized capital is 10 lakh. Company might have issued capital might be 8 lakh. Okay, out of this 8 lakh capital, maybe subscribed capital is 6 lakh. It is within that. After this subscribed capital, might be people have paid up 4 lakh. So this is the real capital which has been paid up. The first upper limit is authorized capital is 10 lakh. Within that, issued capital is 8 lakh. Then subscribed capital is 6 lakh. Then paid up capital is 4 lakh. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, I couldn't hear you properly, but here is one question I'm seeing in the chat box. Let me just go through this. This question is about, suppose JFE Infra took a loan from State Bank of India. JFE Infra is making losses year after year. So SBI approached NCLT and took over the management of the company and appointed more than 50% of the directors or granted a term loan as a restructuring plan with the conditions to appoint more than 50% of the directors and appointed 50% of the directors. Can JFE Infra called as a subsidiary of SBI? Okay, you see, answer is very straightforward. Answer is yes. If it is controlling the board of directors, answer is yes. Okay, shareholding control is not there. So you may think that shareholding control is not there. How come it can be a holding? How can there be a holding and subsidiary relationship? Holding and subsidiary relationship is possible in 2 ways. Since you are controlling the board of directors, you have the power to appoint. Okay, power to appoint more than 50% of the directors or power to remove more than 50% of the directors. If this is the fact, okay, if this is the fact, because of some default, you have approached to tribunal and tribunal has given you that power. And by virtue of that power, you are capable of doing that. Then definitely you are a holding company. Is it clear to you? Okay. Any other query you have? Okay, friends.
Sir, small thing. Sir, defunct company. Sir, you talk about defunct company.
Yeah.
Which never incorporated and all that. So that is and dormant company. Are they same, sir?
More or less same. You see, both the things are not clearly defined. but sometimes we use the word defunct company, and we are using it earlier law many times. We are discussing a company which is not function, we call it as defunct company. Okay, more or less
Not got
both
any
the
existence.
yeah,
Sir, it's not got any existence, sir.
not got any existence. No,
Right.
it has got an existence, but technically we cannot define that because since
Not
definition is,
operated. Sir, not operated, something
no,
like
law
that.
has not defined what is let us say defunct company. So you understand it something like the company which is not functioning. Very simple general meaning. If the company is not functioning, we'll call it as a defunct company. And what is dormant company? Company which is dormant, sleeping company. Okay, so both the terms has not been defined in the law. So by applying our you can say general understanding, so we may say they are more or less same. Answer is yes, they are more or less same. Okay, we cannot clearly distinguish them. Suppose you will ask me what is private company and public company, I can distinguish because both the things are defined. Is it not? I can distinguish. These are distinction number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The other day, some of our friends are raising that I have read one more definition. What is that? Regarding a meeting. Yeah. Private company are not supposed to hold that. Yeah. Our friend is there. Last, I told you I will be addressing this question when you will talking about meeting chapter. What is that question? Something was like this. I think is not there. Okay, we'll be addressing something regarding statutory meeting we were talking about. Statutory meeting provisions were there in earlier Companies 1956 Act, in Companies Act 1956, but this law, that term is not there. So we cannot consider that as a distinction. Therefore, when we studied about distinction, that point was not there. Again, we'll be discussing this thing when we will be coming to our meeting chapter. Friends, I think we don't have any other queries, so let us wind up right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next class we'll be learning again a new concept, that is the concept of separate legal identity. That also you have raised in your initial classes, and the concept of lifting of corporate wealth. These two concepts I want to learn. If you want to understand the concept of company, we have to cover these two things. So next class we'll be learning that thing, separate legal identity concept. Thank you very much. We'll catch up in our next class. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.